Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Canal Algérie's nightly news. On to the headlines. Algeria showcases its ambitious food security efforts and success in strategic crop development while chairing the International Grains Council in London. Algeria urges the UN Special Committee on Decolonization to address remaining colonial legacies with emphasis on Moroccan occupation of Western Sahara. New boost for ecotourism in Ataraf, the coastal zone of Al-Battah, equipped with new hospitality facilities and leisure areas, position it as a prime destination for summer. Welcome back. First off, the Prime Minister Nadir Al-Arabawi chaired a government meeting on Wednesday dedicated to reviewing the progress made in implementing complementary programs for some of the country's provinces. These programs are a key focus of the President of the Republic's strategic vision to mitigate development disparities between provinces and boost their economic and social dynamism. The government then listened to a presentation on connecting major agricultural investments and projects for strategic crops to the electricity grid, which was approved by the President of the Republic. The government also listened to a presentation on the project to establish a postal bank, which will contribute to bringing banking services closer to citizens, attracting financial deposits, and improving comprehensive and diverse financial services. The government, in the same setting, also listened to a presentation on the evaluation of the organization of the middle school certificate exams during the period from the June 1st to 3rd, as this is an important milestone in students' academic careers. Finally, the government listened to a presentation on the draft waste management and treatment strategy for the period 2025-2029, which is a national plan aimed at building an effective and integrated waste management system based on waste reduction, improving sorting and recycling, and creating green job opportunities, all while strengthening local participation and contributing to improving environmental quality. Highlighting its regional leadership and growing global role in agriculture, Algeria, current chair of the International Grains Council, opened the Council's 34th session in London. Ministers and senior officials from across the world gathered to discuss the future of food security and supply chains amid ongoing global crisis. Wahid Bamzouj and Manal Maf.
With a strategic vision for food security and impressive agricultural performance in recent years, Algeria stood out at the International Grains Forum, joining leading nations in the field. The London Forum, which focused on global food security challenges. The forum placed particular focus on Africa, the Middle East and North Africa, alongside key topics related to safeguarding global food security. Algeria has long implemented a comprehensive program aimed at ensuring food security through national production, as well as securing and diversifying imports of grains and dry legumes. Several workshops addressed key issues such as international trade and the ongoing global demand for grains, highlighting food security as a matter of national security. Algeria's experience and expertise in the field were praised by the participants, particularly in light of the investment-friendly climate fostered by the state. Algeria is eager to develop its own processed products, particularly in the field of oilseeds grains, aiming to boost local production and reduce reliance on imports. Algeria stressed the importance of international cooperation on food security, highlighting the need to share expertise, opportunities and tackle common challenges. The forum concluded with several positive takeaways, as participants anticipate a notable increase in global grain production in the upcoming season, following 2 years of decline.
The Secretary of State, the Minister of Foreign Affairs in charge of African Affairs, Selma Bakhta Mansouri. She's participating in the ministerial meeting to follow up on the recommendations of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, which is being held Wednesday and Thursday in Hunan Province, China. This meeting is an important step in strengthening coordination between African countries and China, particularly regarding the implementation mechanisms for the 2025-2027 Joint Action Plan adopted at the forum's fourth summit in Beijing. During a speech on the occasion, Mansouri emphasized the importance of strengthening the operational aspect of the China-Africa partnership by focusing on the implementation of the forum's commitments and the creation of monitoring and evaluation mechanisms. Algeria is present at this event through the participation of several companies in the China-Africa Economic and Trade Fair held from June the 12th to the 15th. Let's head to Geneva now for the 113th session of the International Labour Conference, which kicked off on Wednesday in the presence of Ammar Taqjout, Secretary General of the Union of Algerian Workers, and Kamal Moula, who is the President of the Algerian Economic Renewal Council. On the occasion, Taqjout highlighted the reality of trade union work in Africa, stressing the importance of launching a serious and in-depth collective reflection to develop trade union work in light of future challenges. Kamal Moula, for his part, noted the importance of unifying efforts between workers and businessmen to implement the social contract. Let's listen.
In Algeria, business leaders and workers stand united to build strong economic development, a true national vision, and a just and secure society. The social contract we strive for must reflect the diverse realities and needs of institutions, while also fulfilling workers' aspirations, freedom of choice, the ability to grow and evolve, freedom of expression, the right to be heard, and a balanced life between work and personal well-being.
أن يسمع صوتهم والعيش بتوازن بين العمل والحياة.
Nous apprécions hautement le rôle historique de l'OIT.
We highly appreciate the historic role of OIT regarding the improvement of working conditions of hundreds of workers across the world. However, we consider that a lot remains to be done regarding the increase of poverty rate in the world. We are also concerned about the environmental situation, namely the climate change, which affects severely these southern countries, without forgetting the negative impact of technological mutation, including the effect of artificial intelligence on the nature of work.
Sans oublier l'impact négatif des mutations technologiques rapides de l'intelligence artificielle sur la nature des relations.
On to the operational report of the People's National Army's activity in the past week. In the context of the fight against terrorism and thanks to the efforts of units of the PNA, the terrorists named Ghanami Salik surrounded the military authorities of Burj Baji Mukhtar in the 6th military region. Possession of a Kalashnikov submachine gun, quantity of ammunition, and other items, while other detachments of the PNA arrested 3 support elements to terrorist groups in different operations across the national territory. In the framework of the fight against organized crime, the continuation of the tireless efforts aimed at countering the scourge of drug trafficking in our country. Combined detachments of the PNA intercepted, in coordination with the different security services, in operations across the military regions, 28 drug traffickers and averted attempts to introduce 16 kilograms of processed kief through the borders with Morocco, while huge amounts amounting to 1,616,062 psychotropic tablets and 1,000 grams of cocaine were seized during separate operations across the military regions. In Temras, Burj Baji Mukhtar, In Salah, and Ingazam, detachments of the People's National Army arrested 60 individuals and seized 25 vehicles, 42 generators, 43 jackhammers, as well as quantities of mixture of raw gold and stones, explosives, detonation tools, and other equipment used in illegal gold mining operations. On the other hand, 12 other individuals were arrested, 1 automatic pistol, 3 hunting rifles, and over 13,600 liters of fuel were seized during separate operations across the national territory. Similarly, border guards sorted at the level of our national coasts. Attempts at illegal immigration proceeded to save 205 traditionally made boats, while 206 illegal immigrants of different nationalities were arrested across the national territory. And communique. Before the Special Committee on Decolonization, Algeria's permanent representative to the UN, Ambassador Benjama, urged the UN to take a decisive action to put an end to the residues of colonialism, notably the Sahrawi cause, the last colony of Africa.
Mon pays, l'Algérie,
My country, Algeria, who suffered terribly from colonization. My country resolutely supports just causes and reaffirms that the United Nations must act with determination to eliminate the last vestiges of colonialism. Madam President, we encourage the Committee of 24 to mobilize all its means to protect the rights of the Sahrawi people and finally complete the decolonization process. One path has opened before us: the immediate resumption of direct negotiations between Morocco and the Polisario Front for a just and lasting solution guaranteeing the self-determination of the people of Western Sahara.
L'autodétermination du peuple du Sahara occidental. Je vous remercie.
As for Tawfiq El Qudri, member of Algeria's permanent mission to the UN, he qualified the intervention of the Moroccan delegation as nothing beyond an attempt to distort history and transactional diplomacy. Here's a statement.
تدخل الوفد المغربي يؤكد
The intervention of the Moroccan delegation confirms once again what we've already affirmed, namely an attempt of rewriting history of policy and the transactional diplomacy. The Moroccan delegation cannot deny the statement of their king on September 1983 during the ordinary session of the General Assembly, which affirms, I quote, "Morocco wants to tell you that it wishes to organize a referendum." Year after 1988, Morocco approved and ratified the UN's plan with the principal objective of organizing a free and independent referendum. We would like to remind the representative of the Moroccan delegation the content of the common declaration published in 1988 regarding the re-establishment of diplomatic relations between Algiers and Rabat. Morocco was committed to support a just and durable solution to the Sahrawi question. All its engagements were forgotten.
دعم حل عادل ونهائي للصراع في الصحراء الغربية. كل هذا التزامات نسيت وطويت على مر التاريخ من طرف المغرب.
Indeed, Western Sahara remains the last colony in Africa as Sahrawis push for self-determination amid growing human rights concerns and international inaction. Melissa Lila Balaman goes into details on the situation.
While global institutions continue to advocate for human rights and the dismantling of colonial systems, Western Sahara stands as a rare and unresolved case of modern-day colonialism, where violations of international law persist largely unchecked. At a recent session of the United Nations Special Committee on Decolonization, speakers renewed calls for the Sahrawi people's right to self-determination, urging the international community to uphold the UN Charter and push for the long-delayed referendum promised under the MINURSO mandate.
Life under occupation is defined by repression, not opportunity. There is no work, no development, not even basic dignity. Young Sahrawis are imprisoned without due process, denied lawyers, and sentenced to over a decade behind bars in Moroccan prisons.
Polisario Front representatives reiterated that any effort to suppress the Sahrawi cause is destined to fail, stressing that the conflict must be addressed as a decolonization issue and resolved only through a genuine political process that enables full independence.
Since November 19, 2020, my family has lived under a harsh siege in the occupied city of Boujdour imposed by Moroccan authorities. My aunts, Sultana and Ouala Khaya, and my elderly mother, Aminatu Najm, were subjected to repeated abuse, including torture and home intrusions. My mother was beaten, tortured, and forced to witness horrific acts against her daughters, rape, violence, and humiliation. Our house was vandalized, the water tank contaminated, and we were cut off from electricity and water. Unknown substances were even injected into Sultana's arm. All of this happened simply because we peacefully demanded the Sahrawi people's right to self-determination.
Despite mounting pressure and Moroccan expansion in the disputed territory, the Sahrawi people continue to resist through peaceful means, seeking international support for a just, lasting outcome that secures their political and territorial rights.
In Gaza, at least 120 Palestinians have been killed and more than 363 injured in the past 24 hours. Among them, at least 57 aid seekers who were killed and more than 636 who were injured, bringing the death toll to over 55,000 martyrs. Doctors of the World Charity has condemned the deadly Zionist drone attack on one of its offices in central Gaza, which killed at least 8 people, including 4 children. We wrap up our news with a tour in the beautiful holiday spot on Algeria's eastern coast, Ataraf. The Al-Batah tourist expansion zone in Ben Mhidi has received a major investment of 2 billion dinars with new accommodations, coastal upgrades and leisure areas. Now it's ready to welcome visitors. Report by Saida Mayouf, commentary by Manal Mafo.
The Al-Batah tourist expansion zone, nestled along the coast of Ben Mhidi in Ataraf province, is undergoing a remarkable transformation through an ambitious tourism development plan. With new modern hospitality facilities and thoughtfully designed spaces that blend comfort and leisure, the area is quickly becoming a premier seaside destination.
Our resort is spread over 6 hectares. It includes 100 bungalows and a water park that can accommodate up to 3,000 visitors. It's a major project that took 8 years of work and represents an investment of nearly 2 billion dinars.
Le projet, il est vraiment très important. Ça nous a pris beaucoup de temps. Donc ça fait déjà 8 ans qu'on a travaillé dessus. Ça avoisine les 2 milliards de dinars. Notre complexe offre...
Our resort offers a range of opportunities. Through this approach, we aim to attract as many summer visitors as possible to discover this magnificent coastline, the eastern coast of Algeria.
Cette formidable côte.
These new hotels and tourist villages, complemented by existing eco-friendly infrastructure, are poised to elevate this border region into a premier travel destination. Beyond its natural charm, the project is also a strong driver of local development, creating over 200 direct jobs. This summer season will see the expansion of the hotel network, granting this far eastern region of the country a prominent place on the map with enhanced capacity to welcome visitors in comfort and style.
Nous allons recevoir presque 800 lits.
We're adding nearly 800 new beds, bringing the total capacity to 3,500. This expansion will allow us to welcome our summer visitors in excellent conditions, ensuring a comfortable and enjoyable stay.
Très bonnes conditions.
With its modern comforts and amenities ensuring the perfect setting for holidaymakers, paired with immaculate, enchanting beaches, Ataraf opens its arms wide to welcome visitors in search of unforgettable summer escapes.
Diane, thank you for watching. Take care.